John, good.
Right, do you mind just using the speakers just in case for your recording? Thanks for trying to appreciate. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this eve of match press briefing with the South Africa team. My name is Richard Baker, the match press officer. Before we start, we're just waiting for the translation service to be ready, so I'll just remind you all to please turn off your phones or put them into flight mode. We also have the microphone available for any questions, so if you have one, please raise your hand and use the microphone when it comes. Just like to introduce to the top table, on my right is South Africa assistant coach Mzwandile Stick. On his right is South Africa captain Kolisi, and further to on the far right is flanker Francois Louw. Just double check how we're doing for translation, if we're ready to go. Waiting for a word, just because we're doing translation from Tokyo, so we're just waiting for that thumbs up. We're ready? Okay, excellent. So we'll start by opening the floor. If you'd like to raise your hand for a question, we'll start here in the front row. Thank you.
Sia, being involved now in every match of this tournament, how do you feel physically at the moment? Rashi mentioned that he felt your performance was excellent against Italy, but yeah, physically and in terms of your own form.
Physically, I feel good. My body feels good, and I'm really glad I could get a lot more minutes, as you know, because I've been injured for quite a bit. And yeah, the form is getting better and better. You know, I put a lot of pressure on myself, and I expect a lot of myself. So I'm always, you know, looking for work on the field to do a bit more. Because yeah, the guys are doing well, so you know that's a contagious feeling, and you want to get there. But my fitness levels have got up to that, so hopefully I can be better than tomorrow as well.
Just need to wait for translation. Okay, we'll go here for again, and then we'll move to the back. Volume, you need the volume turned up. Just turn the. So where's the microphone? Here. Yeah.
Sia, are you someone who enjoys playing non-stop? You know, someone who gets momentum the more they play?
Yeah, 100%. I prefer it that way. I don't know, it just feels better for me. And sometimes the break is good. Like I've experienced in my union, we never come off a break very well. So I prefer just playing the whole time. Yeah.
Flo, maybe you can just tell us, we were out there on the side of the pitch. There's been a lot of talk about the humidity and how hot the stadium can get, but it felt quite cool today. What are you guys going to expect tomorrow night in terms of humidity and just the conditions inside the stadium?
Yeah, I think it's been fairly humid since we arrived in Japan. Something we've had to get used to quite quickly, and I think coming out 2 weeks prior to the World Cup starting, you know, definitely gave us a chance to practice in those conditions a bit more, so to say. Yeah, I suppose with a closed roof, it should be an increased humidity level. But I think our game plan, our structure stay the same really. You know, either way, whether the roof's open or closed, it is slippy most of the time. That's going to put emphasis on you know, ball carrying at the breakdown, especially making sure that we, you know, provide a good platform for our halfbacks to take off from. I think it's more just an attitude towards taking care of the ball, to put it in quite simple terms.
Go here and then in the front row.
Sia, we didn't really ask you about your feeling of captaining the Boks at a World Cup, or maybe someone did and I missed. But have you had a moment to think about the sort of the fabulous sort of achievement that is, or has it just been work, work, work?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm really honored, and it's a huge privilege for me. And like you said, it's been really work after work. I haven't had the moment like to sit and think about it. But I know what it means to me, and my family as well. And I'm really proud, and I'm grateful for the guys that I have around me to help me out, especially in the team, because for me specifically, I don't feel it's an individual job. If I've got great leaders around me, why not use them? And I know that there's gonna be tough calls that we made, and I'll obviously make them, but I'll always get help if I need help from my leaders, because I'm just that type of person. That's the way I do things, because I don't believe I do know everything. And yeah, but I'm really honored, and I think after the tournament is done, I'll probably sit and have a think about it. But for now, there's a job to do, so that's what I'm focusing on.
Stick, just a word on the new back three and the amount of work you've guys done on under the high ball, and how do you think the back three will go with the new guys like Damon and the rest of the guys?
Yeah, we've got exciting outside backs for this game, youngsters. It's good to have Damon Willems joining us in our squad, yes, even though it was sad to lose Jesse. But once again, it's part of the game, injuries, But I'm just glad that we could get an opportunity in the group stages to be able to give all the guys opportunity to get some minutes behind their backs for this game. And most especially going towards the playoffs. We know it's going to be a very tough one. And it's also good to have all our players currently that are in the camp where they're all fit to play. But once again, you've seen what Damien has done before for this team, where he played against England at Twickenham in front of plus minus 85,000 people at Twickenham. So for a 21-year-old at that time who could perform under that pressure, so it shows that he's got a proper head over his shoulders. Yeah, but once again, it's going to be challenging, as you've seen all over around where we go in Japan. It's very humid, so it's a big challenge for us to be able to put the ball through hands. But yeah, I think the guys are well prepared, and we're just looking forward to this challenge, last group game, and then hopefully we'll get to the playoffs.
Just translate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask Sia, most of the teams you play against you're very familiar with. This is the first time I think South Africa have played Canada for nearly 20 years. Last time Rassie Erasmus was playing for South Africa. So, I mean, how do you go about preparing for a side that you're not as familiar with as other teams?
Yeah, I think that goes up to what we've been doing every week. We always look at our previous game and see where we made mistakes or where we can improve, and what we've done great, that must continue. And then obviously you look at the other team, you see, their attacking plays, how they kick and stuff, and we just look at that. So it doesn't matter whether we have, but it makes it easier to play against someone that you've been playing against for like a long time, to kind of prepare for them. So now we don't really know what to expect from the individuals, but we do our individual prep as well as players. So that's the best we can do.
See, I see on social media, it looks like your family's on their way here. They're going to be watching the game tomorrow night. And how much are you looking forward to having your lighties and your wife with you here?
Yeah, they are. I think almost a lot of our families are here, or wives or girlfriends are here, and I'm pretty excited to have my family as well. They're landing tonight, yeah, and they'll be watching the game tomorrow. Yeah.
Sia, could you tell us how important it is to be the first black captain for South Africa, especially with all the off-field trouble there's been?
Yeah, that's tough. I'm just very happy that I'm captain, and being the first black is not something that comes to mind. I'm just really happy that I'm a Springbok captain. It's a huge privilege as it is, and for anybody who comes from my community or any community, I just want to represent all of them, because at the end of the day, I'm representing the whole of South Africa. So my focus has never been being excited being the first black captain. It was just being Springbok captain is a huge privilege.
Stokololo, just in terms of the backline as a whole, Rassie and Jacques Ninabas mentioned about the mistakes against the All Blacks. What would you want to see improved in this? This is now the last pool match before the quarterfinals.
I think it was very clear against the All Blacks. It's just that we didn't convert the opportunities that we had in the game into points. So that was the biggest work on for us going forward into the tournament. And if you look at the manner in which we played the previous games, when we played against Namibia and also Italy, is that when we got opportunities, at least there in those games, we managed to convert them into points. And also the key thing is that I know a lot of people will expect us to play more running rugby when you're playing sides like Italy and also like Namibia. But the thing is, we've tried to make sure that we stick into the process and the plan, the way we want to play the game, you know, where the bigger picture for us is to make sure that when we get to the playoffs, we are well prepared the way we want to play. And it's good to have a side like Canada, because of, like Sia said earlier on, it's a different beast. It's a different challenge. It's not like something that you've seen before, the pictures that you're going to see from the Canada players. But it also helps us to make sure that we're well prepared, irrespective of who we're going to meet in the playoffs, if we do qualify to the playoffs, and then make sure that we're ready. But once again, we're just looking forward to this challenge. It's going to be a tough one, but I think we will be well prepared for this game.
Sticks, do you guys look at Japan and adjust anything because of the success they've had in these conditions, or do you ignore them because you've got your own game plan? Can you take anything from Japan at this tournament?
I think at the moment the focus is just on the games we're playing in the group stages. But yeah, we know that we might face, it's either Ireland, Japan, or Scotland in that group, you know. So, but once again, it's good to see a country like Japan managing to, more especially as a host nation, you know, and you can feel the vibe around Japan. Everyone is excited about the game. So it's always good to see where the whole country, they're united behind their team. And also it's good to see those guys, remember, they're also representing their families, you know. They also, which is, we call them smaller nations, but when it comes to now World Cup, they're showing you that if you don't pitch up on a day, you're going to get hurt, you're going to get punished. So you can't underestimate anyone in this tournament. So I'm happy to see Japan where they are currently, and I have to be honest and say they are very, very dangerous side. So if you don't rock up on a day against them, they will punish you. They've got good ball players. They've got a good balance when it comes to experienced players and physical players in that squad. So we'll only think about them when we get into that stage. We've got about 10-day turnaround after tomorrow's game. So at least we've got enough time to make sure that we get prepared for whoever we're going to meet in the quarterfinals.
Just a question to Flo. Just a combination between you, Sia, and Kwagga. I think it's the first time you guys are playing together, and your different roles and how you see that game.
Yeah, looking forward to playing alongside Sia and Kwagga. I think essentially we are all number sixes, so interesting combination we've made up there. And these days I find myself at 8 quite a lot, which is another role I really do enjoy. So looking forward to playing with both Sia and Kwagga. They both obviously bring quite a dynamic game. You know, I've played a lot of rugby with Sia over my career, so I know what he's all about. Not so much with Kwagga. And very, very pleased for him that he's made the step up into the Springbok side and established himself as a player, and you know, getting starts, doing very well in the championship, and now again in the World Cup. You know, he's a tough player, a sevens player, so he brings a different dynamic to the back row. You know, he's good in the loose play, but also likes to get stuck into the tight stuff. So. I'm sure we'll complement each other where we can and make up for each other's weaknesses where they are, and hopefully put together a good performance.
Thank you. Any further questions? Any from our friends from the Japanese media would like to ask a question? No? Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you to the top table. That brings a close to the eve of match briefing for South Africa. Thank you.